that I was like asking for you guys to come out to play music whenever you were available out in Dayton.
No, I mean, I don't think he told me about that. If he did, he must, I'm probably forgot or
Well,
something,
I
but
mean, like the one gig that I set up was on his birthday on June 16th, so like I kind of figured he might have something busy. Um,
yeah.
the other ones I have is like in August and also like in July. I wasn't too sure if like everybody was available. But for this reason in particular, KJ, go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do.
Like just like kind of like playing with Gabe because Steven's out in Austin right now, but we were thinking of like doing something a little bit different. But
Well, like who you are, and like you play music, and like you've been a part of bands and stuff.
yeah, so just like kind of like playing a solo set with Gabe or something, or
Yeah, like introduce yourself, like who you are, what you do.
or is this like your podcast, like some sort of
Yeah,
like
yeah. I'm
interview
trying to I'm
type
trying to get
thing?
you real quick.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a show, like a music show. But
It
you
is
mean like
it
on your
is a
podcast?
show that I have lined up in the future.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. I guess I'd have to think about it. I've never like been on like a podcast where like I have to talk a lot, so that seems a little bit nerve wracking. But I could play like a couple songs or something. I don't know.
Introduce yourself, like who you are.
Why are you like stung up on that? Like just hi, my name's KJ King. I play guitar and I
Yes.
write songs, and that's all I have to do.
All right, true, KJ. So like I know you're busy right now, and I call you at like a weird moment. Gabe kind of gave me the shout out to go ahead and hit you up. So like you record music for Life Brother, and you do have like these other side projects that are definitely highly worth mentioning. Go ahead and introduce like your astrological sign.
Oh shit, am I on a podcast right now? Oh damn, I'm sorry, dude. I really fucked this up for you.
Oh,
Um,
I got Gabe earlier, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
dude, this is funny. Okay, oh now I get it. Shit, yeah, you should give me a text next time. Yeah, this is sort of on the cuff. Wait, my astrological sign? I guess it's Aquarius. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's like on the cusp or something like that between Pisces or some shit. February 14th, 95.
How long have you been making music outside of your bands?
Outside of the band, um, I guess I started with the bass and just kind of like played like tabs and stuff like songs I wanted to learn. And
Yeah.
I thought the bass would be like I started out with the guitar and I sucked at it and I gave up and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something easier. And so I was like, I'll do the 4 string bass. And so I did that for a while and like I learned how to slap and that whole sort of thing. And then I wanted to like actually go back and learn how to play the guitar. And so I would just learn songs that I like, mainly like Bob Dylan or like Alice in Chains or grunge and stuff. And so I finally did that. And then just one time I just started like making riffs and then I would just sing a melody over it and didn't have to make sense. Um, I just knew I liked melodies, so I would just make up random words. And then when I moved to Chillicothe, I met I met Gabe. He was the drummer in the band, and I played saxophone. And I asked around. I was like, "Who can play drums around here?" And my other friend Tyler pointed to Gabe. So I actually met Gabe on the golf team later, and then we ended up just jamming in my garage. Pretty much, I had like written like a few songs that were silly, but they were songs.
Now go ahead and mention like some of your favorite movies and like directors of all time. Some of those ones that hit right at home for you.
Movies and directors. I mean, I love all the Lord of the Rings movies. That was my shit. I like Tolkien, but yeah. I mean, I guess I really liked of course Star Wars and Quentin Tarantino and like Martin Scorsese and that all sorts of stuff like that. Of course Steven Spielberg, but didn't really get into movies until I started smoking weed. So, um, but other than that, I like all sorts of stuff, I guess.
All right. So to mention some of the really random movies that you've seen recently, have you happened to like take note or like go and see some movies that you like think are worth shouting out? I've taken the dive on like Avatar 2. We watched Reality, like the new season of Barry and like Succession and like the new Evil Dead movie.
Um, I really like medieval shit, so I really liked the Northman, the Viking
Yeah,
movie
Northman
with
was really
Skarsgård.
solid.
That movie was good.
His
That was
dick
the
was
last
so
movie that really
long.
wooed me.
Also,
But
I guess one thing to also bring up, like favorite musicians and artists that like inspired you to create music today.
definitely Bob Dylan as far as like songwriting, how he just kept writing songs. I kind of have that bug too, where I can constantly just keep making new riffs and songs. He was a little bit more prolific, but definitely leaned to him a little bit for songwriting. But I like funky stuff too. So I really like right now I'm listening to a lot of like old soul. So I like finding like old samples and stuff like that. So I listen to a lot of soul. That's like my main thing. But I like it all. Hello?
Expand on how Life Brother became a thing to make music and be a band.
Life Brother really we really liked funk music, so we liked a lot of like the higher riff and like faster like staccato sounding, definitely like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but we also like songs that made people dance and move. So that's usually the crux of it all. It was just like we wanted to have fun jamming. So that's usually what happened. But also we liked me and Gabe make harmonies together, and so that's one thing that we got used to doing was like doing harmonies while he was playing drums, I was playing guitar, and then Steven on lead. But yeah, it was just mainly we just liked the jam. Um, Definitely got more experimental when we started jamming with you, Jeff, and so that was a good like segue to like what music could be. Um, so it's kind of like always pushing a little bit, but also going back to like um, it being like definitely like moving, I guess, dancey almost. But I like some folky stuff too. So like anything with a beat, really.
To go ahead and bring up, I guess, Life Brother, your music, and dance music, of course. Type A dance. Kind of like
Yeah.
bring up like the origins of like how the song came to be, how you recorded it, favorite aspects of it, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it just started with the staccato like um A minor chord really. That just kind of like you stay in one spot the entire time. But that's the whole point, is just for it to keep trucking along. But it got to be the point where we would always play it really fast, so we'd have to like use the metronome to kind of slow it down a little bit to get it right. But the song gets you so excited that it was very fun to play. But yeah, it started out with the beginning of a staccato single notes, the dun, 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 dun. And so that was always kind of like fun to start there. And then from that, it was just like full chord, well, not full chord, kind of like the the higher strings, the first three high strings, and then just moving your finger around back and forth. But mainly it's the rhythm of it. Um, but yeah, that one was good fun to play.
All right, all right. So I appreciate you taking this time to kind of answer a few questions for Vibe Osmosis, KJ. Before we go, I guess one of my essential questions is like, if you're stranded on an island and you could bring one thing with you, what would you like to bring?
If I was stranded on an island, what would I bring? Would it be silly to say guitar?
It's like this guitar will handle my madness of like losing
Yeah,
hunger and anything else on this island. At least I have my
yeah.
guitar.
And if
Um,
anything, I can burn it.
you think your guitar would be like Ibanez or Gibson? Where you'd be like Gibson,
No, yeah, I'd bring my Ibanez classical. My
Ibanez.
yeah, it'd be
Uh,
exactly like that. Cast away,
have you
it'd
ever
float away.
have you ever named like your guitar a name out of like how eccentric it is to you?
Actually, I don't think I've named my guitars. They're just like, yeah, they're all mine, I guess.
I have like multiple things to bring up about Life Brother. Essentially, it being the mothership of artists coming to you to the manor to like express themselves, to jam along, also to learn. I guess from you and your band, these songs and like the messages. Did you ever go in like with Steven and KJ like this is the theme, this is like the kind of like idea I have like for the band, or like this is like what I want the songs to be about? Did you ever have that like consciously, or did it happen naturally?
No, no, it all happened organically. Um, it was, but we weren't tied down to like any real genre.
So I guess go
It
ahead and
was
bring up kind of like some of the inspirations behind like the songs that you specifically brought to the band, which is more than a few.
um yeah, She's on Fire was just sort of like an easy like um I don't know if you want to say like an indie song, but like it's kind of like a little bit poppy as well. But like songs like Song for Dead Feel were definitely Dead People were like punky. And then I have of course like love ballads that I've written, um, which are gonna have like a little bit brighter tone, a little bit like uplifting chords and stuff, but then also minor chords in it to make you feel a little bit sad. But yeah, it was just seemed like we just liked all kinds of music and we didn't really want to be tied down on any real genre. We had genres that we like more than others, but that doesn't mean we didn't like to experiment. But yeah, all kind of just happened organically.
Now of course, happy Pride to Kaylee. Kind of advance on your early projects on how you started creating music with your sibling that developed into today, where you still make music on the side and everything
Mhm.
else.
Yeah, I made music with Kaylee like early on. Obviously, she's the first one to play guitar, and I kind of like watched her play, and so always really looked up to her. And one main reason I wanted to play bass so I could play with her, but yeah, then she got into dance music, and I got into guitar, and so we morphed those together and with Two Kings and a drum machine, and she made like beats, and then I would just play guitar over it, and just sing a melody. So that's kind of how Song for Dead People started. Was actually with her, um, but she just put a drum machine and produced a bunch of stuff over it because she liked trance music and stuff. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, um, yeah,
Go
she still plays with us now. Now she's the one that plays the bass. So she was
Exactly,
kind of
like
like,
throughout the progressions and changes throughout the band, like you still kind of incorporate like that family dynamic, and also like that comfortability of knowing like what I do up on stage performative wise, like "You Have My Back." Was that kind of something that you've always kept in mind, or like were you always lucky to find that you have that support?
I think I was just lucky to have it. Yeah, I think that she kind of like stepped up when we needed the bass because our bassist moved to California. But yeah, she just like loved the band so much that she's like, yeah, I'll come in and play bass. Like I'll learn. She tried her best, you know. So she's still gonna be like when we decide to do something maybe a little bit different. She's probably gonna like join in on it a little bit, kind of see what she can do. Maybe it'll be bass, maybe it won't be, but she can do a lot of instruments. So
Now, also, I guess before we go as well, some of the music and things that you were focusing on, like kind of elaborate on how like those songs came to be.
um, how they started.
Yes.
Well, it always starts with a riff for me. I mean, I guess goes back into what I was saying. Like it always just starts with a riff, um, just something that I think sounds good, and then I'll like make a melody over it, and then I'll just make up words, and then I'll like actually write down the words if I want it to get it completely. And sometimes like I'll just keep jamming on a riff for like a while and then not make anything. But sometimes like it'll come right away and I'll make a song. But um but yeah, basically that's how they would always usually come. But then Steven would write songs, and then
Yeah.
he, you know, as well as Gabe would write songs, and I would usually learn. Gabe would write songs on guitar, and I would learn the part for him, and then like kind of like sing back up to him, and then Steven would write songs, but he didn't really like singing, so like I would
Yeah.
sing some of his songs that he has written, but sometimes he would sing them as well. I mean, but that's how I always did it. Was that's still to this day was get a little stoned and just play a little riff, and sing a little melody over it. And
And
it doesn't.
to bring up a little bit of weed, sativa or indica or edibles or whatever. What's your
I like
preference?
hybrids the best.
Hybrid.
Yeah, I like the 50-50 hybrid. I will do sativa though if I really want to get going, and indica if I really want to go to sleep. But I mean, I roll, so I'll always roll and just smoke the joint and then put it down and play guitar and then pick it up again, I guess. But
One thing that
yeah,
I always relate with like hybrids, personally, is like whenever I was younger, the X-Men 2 X2 came out, and like I was getting the first kind of like identification, or like explanation on what a hybrid was, and like how like that can kind of core play with like society, as you will. I was wondering, like in your music, you've mixed up genre, you've done some beady stuff, and also like some more laid back and like songwriter type of music. Did that ever kind of play an influence with like recording a music, like a track or an
oh yeah,
album? Yeah.
yeah, and I'm even like now, like right now, I'm getting into like old country music right now with like Waylon Jennings and stuff like that. So like and like Willie Nelson, like the outlaw country. So even like some old like bluegrass like gospel. I'm learning the mandolin, so like hopefully some of that will cross into like maybe newer music I can try and make. So
I do know, like personally, I have like the August 23rd gig up at Belmont Billiards, which is like a new music place in the Dayton scene, especially for like cool creative artists. Like, do you have like any current projects, anything lined up this year, anything that you're like optimistic about, anything you want to shout out?
um so hopefully we get the music room back up again at Gabe's house. But I'm thinking probably a new project, a new name, mainly focusing with me and Gabe as like the main people. But like I have a friend Keegan who I've been jamming with lately. He was kind of been adding something a little new, but probably maybe won't be Life Brother anymore. Maybe, doesn't mean that Life Brother's over, doesn't mean we'll stop playing those songs, but um, thinking of like maybe a new project, like calling ourselves King Preston, like with the like in the 70s
Two last
last name
names,
bands
everybody.
like
Yes.
Fleetwood Mac and all that sort of thing. But yeah, just maybe something a little bit more acoustic, I guess, would be cool to like feel out.
One
But
thing
I think
that
that's gonna happen down the road here
one
soon.
one thing that I've mentioned, like with this band I've interviewed from Brazil, they've also are, like appreciative of like the Fleetwood Mac era. Like now in this day and age, we're able to kind of get like the excerpts of like whenever they were recording together, whenever they were on the road together. Also, like whenever it wasn't too professional, we just had like songs or like sessions of them jamming and recording together, and you're getting the dynamic of like how the band operated, and also like how like each character even like brought something to the music that made it as like kind of as eccentric as we have it today, as far as like these things keeping in the melody or the tuning, while these people are bringing on X, Y, and Z with like the guitars and the development and the drums. Those are some of the aspects I feel like you experience throughout music that inspires you today. Do you have like any other bands and stuff that you'd like to introduce or like shout out that like have inspired your music today?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been like really into soul music. So Cincinnati's known for a lot of their like soul music, like the Isley Brothers, and they actually the Isley Brothers toured with the Ohio Players, which they're from Dayton. I've been listening to them, but just like any of that old soul stuff, I really like listening to. The OJ's, Curtis Mayfield, Smokey Robinson. Yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong with any of those. I like Eugene McDaniels too. He's pretty good,
Definitely.
but that's what's kind of like my favorite thing to listen to right now.
All right. So before we go as well, like some of my essential vibe osmosis questions are like, what animated cartoon character do you most like identify, relate with?
What cartoon character? Oh snap, man. Um, Dude, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen cartoons. Um, but I mean, have been watching The Last Airbender, so I'm gonna say Aang.
There's something so essential. I feel like with the Last Airbender. Whenever me and my partner was out in New York, and I was playing a couple shows, at this one particular show at this like box theater, this person brought up the elements and like how those kind of were correlated, and like how those signs kind of reacted, especially as like and different elements, like how you're able to kind of tie certain people together from certain I guess like linguistic skills, and as well, do you kind of find yourself like conscientious about this, like while you're writing songs or making songs, about how you wanted to relate to people?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really easy to, I mean, everyone knows about love and everyone's been there, has their heart broken. And so that's really, it's like easy for people to relate to like those songs that I've written. But, I do like to write some other songs that like people can like paint a picture of like what I'm singing too. So, anything, I mean, I feel like melodies too kind of helps for me to connect to. But
All right, KJ. So I really do appreciate you taking this time to answer some questions for Vibe Osmosis. I hope it's a good rest of your night. All right.
yeah,
Any
dude.
shout outs you want to throw out there?
I mean, just yeah, shout out to all the people listening. I guess I didn't know that this was about to happen, so thank you. Okay, dude. I'll see ya. Bye.